What's up, cuties? Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. Join me as I discuss hot topics, reality TV, celebrity news, and more. The views that I express are my own personal opinions for entertainment purposes only, and everything is alleged. Welcome to Chit Chat with QT.
Chit Chat with Cutie, that's what they said, yep.
Chit Chat with QT was killing.
Chit Chat with QT for all of this tea.
All right, cuties, let's go ahead and get into this video. Funky Dineva has been trending since he decided to leave Fox Soul. But let's talk about what he had to say as it relates to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Funky Dineva blasted Carlos King, Martel Holt, and Melody Sheree. So first I'm going to start with what he had to say about Mr. Carlos King. And Funky seems to believe some of the things we believe, that Carlos must want Martel Holt. Take a listen.
I bet you Carlos King took his gas down there, bailed Martel out. Where was your man sleeping at last night, Carlos King house?
And I whoop is right. Carlos King. Shots fired. Shots fired. Funky Dineva said, I bet you Carlos King took his gay ass down there and bailed Martel Holt out. And we have been asking ourselves, what is the tie that keeps Carlos and Martel together? And a lot of us have said exactly what Funky Dineva just said. Now, not as far as bailing Martel out, but let's be clear. He's been bailing Martel out of everything since Martel stepped on the scene. Now, will Carlos address Funky? Carlos seems to go on mute, child, when it comes to all things Love and Marriage Huntsville. But like I said, shots fired, okay? But let's go ahead and get into what he had to say about Martel Holt.
Martel Holt. Do the people in the chat think Martel can hunt?
Quiet as a scalp hunter, his ass just got arrested. He got into the chair. He might be somewhere bent over, tooted and booted, getting hunched, okay? Because that's a whole lot of tussy cat he got back there. And he a fine ass man, but the people say no. Ooh, y'all think it's big. Don't it be disappointed when a man's so fine, his ego so big, and then he drop his drawers and they be like, little boy,
go get us something to eat from Burger King. Give me a double Whopper with cheese and a chocolate shake. I'll be back.
Child, shots fired again. I know Martel is like, damn. Funky said Martel down to the jailhouse hunching, child. OMG. Now, when it comes to the size, naturally none of us would know. But his sex life has been talked about by a couple people. Mel says she never, achieved the big O with him. Coleslaw said before that he was trash in bed, and Sheree seemed to have liked it, but Funky Dineva trying to find out. But on a serious note, let's get into what he had to say about Melody Sheree. Take a listen, guys.
Melody was going through what she was going through with her divorce, and she was making it a point to want to make Tisha be in the same boat that she's in. And maybe Tisha is in the same boat she's in. But until you can provide some concrete receipts,
leave that lady alone.
Now, Funky, we're going to need you to get caught up. You are back in season 2 or season 3. There is no discussion as far as Mel discussing Tisha and Marceau's marriage. So we know that you stopped reviewing the show, but that's over and done with. Now, also, guys, in the video that Funky Dineva made, he also spoke about people feeling like he's biased because of him being seen with people and all of that. This is a picture of Funky when he was at Black. And yeah, you are biased, Funky, when it comes to the Scotts. We will never forget Maurice Scott trying to come out with the Funky Dineva Awards And that shit blew up in his face. Because look, we respect you as a content creator, but we don't need to walk around with a funky Dineva award. But as far as you being biased, you've been biased against Mel for a while. So I want you guys to listen to what he said, and then I'm going to take it back to 4 years ago to what he had to say about her then. Take a listen.
Martel was so caught up in his ego and his narcissistic ways that he skipped over so many reads that he could have gave Melody. I would have told Melody that good enough to have your ass stigmatized for all those years while I was you and Cole and you was begging me to come home at night when I was lying to your ass saying I was going to the gym, but I was working out in that young. That's what I would have said. She'd have walked up that stage crying around with me. It was good enough to have your ass begging and crying down to the reality TV. Now you want to act like it wasn't good. It was something good about it. It was good enough to make your ass go get that license and put this business in your name and be the bread and butter while I was slinging all around town. That's what I would have told her.
Now, Funky Dineva, one can now really believe that it wasn't Martell's penis that kept Mel married to her husband. So under no circumstances do I think that Mel stayed with Martel because of his penis. Okay? So whether it was good or bad, they were married and she was honoring her vows while Mr. Martel Holt was not. But let me say this. I'm glad that he seems to have had a change of tunes when it comes to who was the breadwinner. As you heard in that clip that I just played, he said that Mel was the bread and butter. But take a listen to what he had to say 4 years ago.
Where else the hell she gonna go with 4 kids? They ain't going nowhere. I pay all the bills. She ain't finna find no other nigga to do what I do for her. Going nowhere.
She's the executive producer of the
show. That don't mean nothing because a
show.
lot of times when these people get these EP positions, they're vanity titles. You think about it, let me ask you a question. If you think that girl really had any kind of control, that she would have the show edited in such a way that she looked so weak and embarrassed?
That's true. I
She
wouldn't
would.
control the narrative on that.
My point
You
exactly.
got a point.
Oh, how the tables have turned. So it went from Martel paying all the bills and being the breadwinner. Hello, coleslaw. She thought the same thing too. To Mel being the bread and butter. So I wanted to bring you guys that clip. As I mentioned, that was 4 years ago. And yeah, who gets the last laugh, Funky Dineva? Because back then you said, where she gonna go with 4 kids? And that B ain't going nowhere. And guess what? She gone. And where she's gone to is the top. And I already said how ludicrous it was for him to think that Mr. Martel was paying all the bills. Funky Dineva, 4 years later, you see that's not the case as well. And does she look weak now? He even mentioned that in that clip. So sometimes action speaks better than words, and that's exactly what Mel has done since she went somewhere, since he said she wasn't going anywhere. So Funky Dineva has always had strong feelings when it comes to Melody Sheree. Period. Point blank. And yes, I do think that he is biased when it comes to the Scotts. Marceau gives him credit for getting black chocolate in a bottle off the ground. Funky Dineva came out on his YouTube page back in the day, and he was the one that was promoting that. So yeah, Marceau has a thing for Funky. Funky has a thing for Marceau. And I already mentioned about Mr. Maurice trying to give people the honorary Funky Dineva Award. So yeah, you're biased. Now you said that you may start ending up covering Love and Marriage Huntsville again, but you would want to get back on the show. I don't know if that's going to be possible the way you clown Carlos Kane. I guess we will have to wait and see about that. So, look, I told you guys how I feel about Funky Dineva. It's a love-hate relationship. I do respect him as a content creator. The man walked away from Fox Soul making $250K per year. And Funky always said that those are some of the type of things that our ancestors dreamed of. Being able to walk away from 250K. So yeah, it's admirable. And you know, he's back on the scene on YouTube, child. But anyway, just wanted to bring you guys this video. Drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. What do you think about what he had to say about Carlos, bailing Martel Holt out? What he had to say about Martell's, penis. And then what he had to say about Melody Sheree today, Miss Bread and Butter, versus back in the day, Martell paying all the bills. Drop down, guys. Let's chit chat about it. And before you go, please make sure to like the video, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. Chat with you guys soon. Bye. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT. With QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT.